has been dominated by a few familiar parties. You have the APC, you have the AD, you have the People's Democratic Party, often leaving citizens with limited choices and recurring disappointment. But recently, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has begun to re-emerge in national conversations, positioning itself as a possible credible alternative in the system many Nigerians believe is broken. And of course, today on Political Update, we ask the critical questions. And what is it? Is ADC truly different or simply another name in the long list of opposition political parties in Nigeria? Can ADC offer Nigerians ideology, structure, and internal democracy strong enough to challenge the status quo in 2027? Or do we say that is credibility in Nigerian politics still more about perception than practice? This is Political Update, and I am Simiat Abaru, standing in for Akin today. And let's dissect the politics beyond the slogans. But before we introduce the guest for today's discussion, let's get to have the political updates in the course of the week.
The Chief Judge of Rivers State, Justice Simeon C. Amadi, has declined a request by the Rivers State House of Assembly to constitute a 7-man investigative panel to probe allegations of gross misconduct against Governor Simelai Fubara and his deputy, Ngozi Odo, citing subsisting court orders and pending appeal. Justice Amadi's position was conveyed in a formal letter addressed to the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Amaule, acknowledging receipt of 2 separate requests from the legislature dated January 16, 2026. The requests were made pursuant to Section 188 subsection 4 and 188 subsection 5 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, following resolutions of the House to initiate impeachment proceedings against the governor and his deputy. Justice Peter Lifo of Federal High Court in Abuja on Wednesday sacked Julius Abure as National Chairman of the Labour Party. Lifo based his action on the Apex Court judgment delivered on April 4, 2025, which held that Abure ought not to remain in the office after the expiration of his tenure. He held that the evidence before the court established that Abure's tenure as the National Chairman of the Labour Party has since elapsed. Delivering judgment in the suit marked FSC/ABJ/CS/2262/2025. The court observed that the Apex Court has declared the caretaker committee of the party led by former Minister of Finance, Senator Esther Ninadi Usman, as the valid leadership of the Labour Party. Justice Lifo therefore make an order directing the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to forthwith recognize the Senator Ninadi Usman-led caretaker committee as the only valid authority to represent the Labour Party, pending when the party convenes a national convention.
By the judgment of the court has this morning restored the vote of members of the Labour Party in Nigeria by affirming that the power elect their leadership is vested in members of the party who subscribe to the constitution of the party. The court upheld the decision of the Supreme Court that power resides in the Labour Party, and that following the expiration of the tenure of Barrister Julius Abure in June 2024, the appointment, without conducting a proper convention to take over, to elect executive members that will take over from him, it was only fair and reasonable for the party to come together and appoint a national caretaker committee like they have done, and with the leadership vested in distribution Dr. Nenadi Esther Usman.
Governor Ubasoni has promised that his administration, in collaboration with the security agencies, will ensure the safe return of those who were abducted in Kuminwali village on Sunday. The governor made this pledge when he led a large delegation of senior government officials and heads of security agencies to commiserate with the people of Kuminwali.
Every life matters. And we are here to assure our people of Kuminwali that the government of Borno State is collaborating with the security agencies to ensure that all the people that have been abducted return back to Kuminwali safely. When I came in, I realized that some people have injuries, and we made it clear to all of them that the state government will certainly take care of everyone that have issues as a result of the unfortunate incident.
Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State has reaffirmed his commitment to the People's Democratic Party, declaring his comfort in the opposition party, despite a growing wave of high-profile defections to the ruling All Progressive Congress. The Oyo State governor emphasized that his visit to the president was focused on governance matters affecting the nation rather than party political considerations.
Nigeria is a project that, all Nigerians must be concerned about, welfare of our people, what are the governance issues, this issue of insecurity, poverty alleviation. I mean, there are things that has no correlation of a party as leaders, whether president or governor of a state. Those are things that we have to work together, consult with one another, and ensure that we can make life one shade better for our people.
The United States has urged the federal government of Nigeria to intensify efforts to protect Christian communities and curb terrorism, even as both sides reaffirmed their security partnership, highlighting what they described as tangible progress in counter-terrorism operations and law enforcement since late 2025. The commitments were made on Thursday in Abuja during a U.S.-Nigeria working group meeting on religious freedom and civilian protection. The meeting was attended by Alison Uka, U.S. Secretary of State for Political Affairs, and Nuru Badu, National Security Advisor.
Advancing religious freedom and security will help the United States and Nigeria to enhance the reciprocal benefits of our relationship, solidifying trade and economic deals, degrading terrorist groups that threaten our interests, and strengthening health responses among.
And of course, those were the stories we've been tracking this week on Political Update. Back to the studio, and of course, for today's discussion, the topic is ADC, that's 2027, ADC as a credible alternative. Whether that, of course, is true or not, we'll find out on the program. I have two gentlemen here to dissect, and of course, to give us different perspectives about this topic. In my immediate right, I have a social-political philosopher who is also a civil society operative and consultant, Ola Animasha. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's nice being in the studio with you, Sina.
And yes, like we said, we have two people. The second person, my far right here, is no other person but the chairman of the African Democratic Congress, Ogun State, that's Otumba Dr. Femi Sholade. Thank you for joining us.
It is my pleasure to be here, and thank you so very much for having me.
All right, before we start to talk about whether ADC is actually the credible alternative, let's start by looking at the state of opposition in Nigeria of today. Different reactions, different political parties. You have the Labour Party, you have the the African Democratic Party, you have all other opposition political parties.
Labour Party.
I mentioned that initially. So tell us what you think about the state of opposition political parties in Nigeria today.
Sincerely speaking, I will not even say it's neither here nor there. I will say the opposition are really nowhere to be found at this material time. I don't know of what tomorrow will say. And ironically, good enough, we have the chairman of the ADC, African Democratic Congress, in Ogun State, here seated with us in the studio. ADC should have been a viable opposition, everything put together. But at this material time, they are not proven to be quite solid enough to stand as a truly viable opposition party in the sense of what an opposition party should be. Why? Because at this material time, though newly formed, so to say, by some powerful juggernauts, not institutions, individuals, newly formed, but we are not seeing institutional framework being displayed in terms of what an opposition should be. We are rather seeing the selling of individuals. And at this material time, 2 years plus minus to the election, I think we should have been consuming the possible profiles of a likely candidate, the philosophy, aggregated principle of what the ADC will bring on board as against what we are having currently with the APC, and possibly selling ideas and agenda to us, rather than struggling with who is going to be who in the party, which is what is bedeviling the party.
Okay, maybe before we start to engage Dr. Shiloade on what the maybe the challenge is thrown, whether they actually formidable opposition enough. Can you just clarify to us, do we have factions in ADC at the state level and at the national level?
Well, I can tell you for free, and you can take it to the bank. We do not have any opposition at the national level, ditto at the state level. We are one united family, but we cannot totally, say we will not have forces trying to undermine our unity of purpose. Yes, it is given in a political tense atmosphere as we have currently, but we are surmounting it every day. Every time this ugly monster rears its head, we subdue it, because ADC is an idea that its time has come.
So you don't know who Nafiu Balagombe is, who of course they said is actually the ADC, a factional national chairman of the party. So
the Bala you're talking about is a function of hands of Esau and voice of Jacob. I think we should understand that quote and unquote.
No, we don't understand. You have to clarify for us.
So otherwise he has no business, trying to stir up any honestness at this important time of, the growing of ADC, African Democratic Congress. African Democratic Congress has been around for quite a while. Yes. It has been used as a special purpose vehicle. But this time around, we are determined that we have to, like a Joshua complexity, taking Israel out of denial, out of slavery. So also ADC has come with a coalition at this point in time to, to find a place of peace, to find a better way to engender new egalitarian society, which engender abundance for all, where everybody will flourish.
Anima sounds free of a challenge. He said he is not really sure that your political party is actually formidable enough to carry on with that. He actually said precisely that he's been seeing not structure but individuals being paraded, pushing different agendas in ADC. Your party has not really come out to tell us really whether it's going to be driven by those individuals or ideology as Nigerians are expecting. Something different.
We have ideology that prepares the birth of this ADC at this auspicious time, and that is the reason why we're having these challenges. People trying to undermine our unity of purpose, because they see us as a very strong opposition that is going to take over, that is going to rescue Nigerians from from slavery, from economic brigandage, and all of those things, from killings, because one person is killed, it's a murder. When few hundreds are killed, you call it massacre. When thousands are killed, it is called genocide. Genocide is happening without without a war in Nigeria.
What ideology is ADC selling to Nigerians this time around?
The ideology of new egalitarian society, which propose abundance for all, where every citizen will flourish, where son of nobody will become somebody without knowing anybody.
So Olani Marshall, he has put it straight to you that they are driven by ideology right now, and of course it's maybe there used to be an ETC, what they have in place right now is something different from the usual.
I hope so. I hope so. Like I said, what we have witnessed so far from the observatory, I am not a politician, but I've followed political evolution for quite some time in my over 60 years. I'm not yet 70, since I'm matured enough to know what politics is all about. And I think what I have seen so far, I'm still maintaining it, from what ADC has pushed forward, is a display of strong individuals. I'm hearing for the first time the possible philosophy and agenda of egalitarianism and making sure there will be equity for the people from Otunba Soluade here. I've never had anything spectacular concerning principles of ADC. What we have seen so far, there are individuals, powerful henchmen coming forward, particularly struggling for positioning. Yes, you have to struggle for positioning to attain the leadership aspiration.
Yes.
But as it were today, like I said at the issue, perhaps because ADC, he said, it's been in operation for quite some time, yes, but somehow it's been hijacked now. No apology to anybody. It's been hijacked by those who want to use this special purpose vehicle for their own.
Do you agree with that, Dr. Soluade?
No, I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree in the sense that there is no human endeavor that is perfect, but in trying to engender a very strong institution, you must pass through faith, and that is the phases that we're passing through. We have quite a lot of people. We have these gladiators coming together. Don't also forget that they have their past of failure too, and because they cannot look back at their blank point, so they want to redress all of these things. All of these people come together to now say we need to fashion a new way for Nigeria to blossom, and that is why you see all of them. They are not in competition because coming of Obi has added a value to the ADC coalition. Then AA, that is former Vice President Atiku too has added glamour to it. All of them coming together, it has become a blessing, and it is given a run for the money of the ruling party.
Okay.
So they are getting victory by the day.
If you listen carefully to what Otunba Soluade has just said, he said he disagreed with me, it has not been hijacked, even though I'm still of the opinion that it's been hijacked by some people, strong elements coming together to form a party. Perhaps because the party they were trying to form could not make headway, they look for a special purpose vehicle like you refer to ADC that has been in existence, and I found a way of jettisoning, so to say in quote, the previous holders of the ADC, and now they are taking control. Now, if you listen carefully to Otunba, you realize that, like I was saying, is amalgamation of individuals, and I think I've said something similar in this studio before. Amalgamation of powerful individuals coming together to form, they have not come together to form a party, to form an opposition.
Okay.
Used a special purpose vehicle of ADC to find a way of defeating the APC currently at the head of affairs. But, like I said before, this experiment, I don't want to use heavy words, have been used before, even though no two situations are exactly the same. But the way ADC, African Democratic Congress, has been going about it, it presupposes that it's not going to be different from the formula that has been used before. Now, what is the formula? In the Second Republic, and I'm very happy for the age bracket that October falls, you will know very well what I want to refer to, because I'm very certain of what I'm going to say. In the Second Republic, during the second term aspiration of President Shehu Shagari, all these parties like UPN of Papa Awolowo, NPP, Nigeria People's Party of Chief Nnamdi Azikiwe, the Wheeler Furniture, GNPP of Waziri Ibrahim from Gombe, PRP, People's Restitution Party of Aminu Kano, Goni, the party's name, I've made it now, all came together as individuals. The way ADC elements have come together now, they all came together to find a way of defeating President Shehu Shagari in the second term aspiration. They came up with this idea hoping that the amalgamation will work. But it failed because none of them was willing to step down for one another. Everybody wants to be the president. That's number one factor. Number two, they went into that aggregated amalgamation, so to say, individually, just like the powerful elements that have been referred to here have been coming together. Obi, Atiku, it was the Erufai and all the powerful elements in this world. The Awolowos and Zik and all the rest came together then, individually, leaving their party out of the context of coalition. The thing did not work. Now, ADC, a multi-purpose party, function vehicle, so to say, individuals coming together now. It's about the same principle used in 1983. Now, none of them is willing to step down, though their own joker may be different. Maybe at the end of the day they'll push up Obi and Atiku will be willing to be vice, or he will just relax and say, I'm not coming out, I'm not doing anything until 2027. Now, I'm just suggesting. No, don't worry, I will leave the seat for him now. Now, if you are contesting against African APC, ADC wants to contest against APC, forgetting that individuals coming together will still have to contest against their PDP, against their Labour Party, against whatever party they have come from to form that aggregated coalition. At the same time, we want to contest against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Do you think it's going to be an easy sale? Despite the fact that there are challenges for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu now in terms of the acceptance, general acceptance by the people. But this is a president who has succeeded in gathering close to 30 plus minus 30 political parties. How does the ADC think? It's not, yes, money speaks volume. Money speaks volume in politics. But do you think it's only money this time around?
He has, maybe you should tell us.
Well, it is not about money, it is not about deep pockets. Even though as much as amongst our preferred ways of doing things, we want to minimize monetization of politics. But the time is not right, it starts to be gradual. And I'm answering your question, directly, that, if you are sure that it's not going to go the way of the others, don't also forget that before the APC came into being, there was this amalgamation of different four political parties.
Good.
So they have their own system of bringing themselves together. But this is idea rules the world. We know that, for that period, it can survive. But this season, there is another political season. So that idea may not survive. And that is why every day we rejig our constitution, every day we rejig our agenda, every day we rejig our manifestos to make it compliant to today's politics. Okay? So you will be surprised that it's going to really be a walkover for ADC in this 2027 election, occasioned by a lot of people, a lot of our citizens, that are not happy with this administration. As much as they try to color it, as much as they try to put the wool into the eyes of the public, as much as they try to use propaganda, to drive their agendas that leads to nowhere, that eventually gradually is leading to perdition. But for our ADC coming up at this political time, we have the eggheads that are working around the clock to make sure we make a difference politically. And this will be achieved. It is not about so much money being put together. This gentleman has not even amended.
Also important.
Yeah, we know that. We know that money is the instrument for which we use. Why human beings are the raw materials. Because we are not going to manufacture any human beings. It is the going about and bringing different people from different political parties. I came from different political parties.
Okay.
So many of us came from different political parties. But we see the future that we all have to have a harmonized house, a united front for us to fight this demagogue.
That particular point is why Nigerians are really asking, with the caliber of people defecting to the ADC. You have the likes of the former governor of Rivers State and of course former minister Rotimi Amici. We have former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai. You also have the former vice president of the country, who also was the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the last election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. The former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, of course, Peter Obi is also in that political party. And Nigerians see them more as people that are so ambitious and stepping down. One stepping down for another is really the case for Nigerians this time around. That is, ADC really ready for this battle to win the 2027 election, or of course to tackle the ruling party in whatever it is that you have listed as the challenges of the current administration.
It is natural that every human being is an ambitious animal, especially our politicians. But there is, on the hand, on the written or written agreement that all of them have to go into primaries. They go to primaries. That is when we discover the best out of the whole lot. And we are not going to ram, whoever emerges is not going to ram it down the throat of the party for him to choose whose deputy is going to come. Ditto the state. But the party will now sit down and look at the appropriate person that is going to deputize whoever wins the election. We have this underlying process.
Are you optimistic that these big wigs are really going to work together?
No,
because of course, when we were talking about the merger that took place in 2015, you were also alluding to that fact, political parties coming together, and you discovered that along the line, we Nigerians discovered that the change that we're talking about, people have different interpretation of the change at the time.
Yes.
So the coalition that we are talking about, the defection taking place into the ADC now, people are also reading that same meaning, that the people defecting actually have their own interest, not really largely based on what you said they are coming to do, which is of course the ideology of changing the face of governance, of course getting Nigeria out of poverty, Nigerians out of poverty.
Yeah.
So that belief is strong in this conversation right now.
Well, be that as it may, like ADC, people defecting into ADC, they are really trying to escape landmine, trying to find a comfort home. Okay? We also know that all the institutions put together by the first, by the surviving, political system that we have here by our father Obasanjo, putting those two institutions together, ICPC and EFCC, who has now become the attacking dog for all opposition. They defeated.
When you say attacking dog for all opposition, are you saying that those people that EFCC are going after are actually innocent or what?
You see, because I can say this as a fact that
they're innocent.
No, they are not nonsense.
Okay.
You know, those people that have, that are having solace in defecting to APC, they are doing that so that they can escape, so that they can escape justice. And we know that.
Is that really true?
We also know that
been prosecuted?
Yes, we also know that a particular political party sounded loud and clear to us. It's an open secret that whoever comes to join them has become.
A lot of debunking has taken place about
No, I mean that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Of course, because we have the Malami of this world, who is also a member of the APC being prosecuted. You have
when we talk about Malami, if Malami has decided to work with APC, he will not be facing this issue that he's facing. Because they know he's very strong in his exactly. Yes.
Three things I want to pick from his submission: the issue of persecution, the issue of primaries, and the issue of the individuals, like we started with.
Yes.
Let me pick the individuals, powerful ones. What stops them? Why is it that they are more interested in their personal survival than their previous political party survivor? You made reference to the current party that was formed, and they now had what you call legacy parties. Why is it, given I can understand that the situation we are in now, you have to move with time.
Exactly.
Why is it that they are not looking back and saying, our party that should have been legacy parties are still there? What are we going to do about it? Why must we go individually? That's number one. Number two, talking about primaries. You said after the primaries that the party will decide and blah, blah, blah. But the issue is, if you throw it down, the fact that Dr. Pelesile, do you think there's anybody within ADC that can defeat Atiku Abubakar when it comes to primaries? And if the chance Atiku Abubakar becomes the holder of the ticket, even though rotation is not in the constitution, even though he has every right to contest, do you think it's going to be so easy for ADC to feature another candidate as of this material time, when we all know that indirectly there is this principle of rotation within the north and the south, operational in our political system as of today, not in the constitution? The third one is the issue of the one that you had just landed on. Okay? But basically, what we are saying is that ADC is an advantageous party at this material time that can do something wonderful if they are ready for it. But ironically, they are not working towards that.
Yes, every party has a mechanism to put their house in order. This we continue to engineer and re-engineer every other day. Election is very close by, but notwithstanding, we do not have any problem, reining anybody in when it comes to the finality of all of this engagement. So ADC does not have a problem. What you see in the press is just a propaganda, it's just the hands of Esau and the voice of Jacob, like I said, trying to malign the party, trying to say, trying to fix things that are not fixable, trying to call a dog a bad name. I don't see any reason why the ruling party has to become a busybody into the affairs of our party, trying to say if this person goes, that one goes, it's not going to work. It is not their problem. It is our own cup of tea. They should leave us to do our things. And I know at the end of the day, only God will take the glory. This is a season that we really need to be very, very careful in order not to still fall into where we're coming from, because what we are trying to do is to get out of the mess. Because we say what is this their slogan again? You say change, hope, change, hope. Before it was change, now it is hope, and this is hopelessness. I can say that now because I cannot see hope, feasible hope, in Nigerian political hemisphere. There is no hope. So it is this hope that we're trying to re-engineer.
But that's not what the statistics are really talking about. We have different statistics being rolled out. In fact, I read one.
Most of those statistics are just man-made statistics. They are not realistic.
Okay.
Believe me.
Okay.
You see, because if you have a successful government that is working for people, it is.
Have you taken your time to also understand how the people that have been handling ADC, your people handling ADC before, these big wigs come together to actually join the party? Have you taken your time to understand how they feel? You know, because of course you were trying to say that propaganda, this and that.
Okay.
Maybe they are also aggrieved. As the situation progresses, Lan Mashon said the party hijacked from the original owners of the party by these big names that have...
You mean our party?
Exactly. So
No.
are you taking your time to do that findings as well, to understand how your people feel? The people holding, the party from when it started existing, and of course those that are taking, the leadership at different levels before we have the Big Mac-led,
See, we don't have any problem as far as that is concerned.
Okay, that's good. Maybe
yes, because I've taken part in more than about 4 to 5 NEC meetings that involve my presence during this, where we're trying to put together this coalition process. Of course, if there has been any grievances, I will have known. Even though there might be skirmishes of here and there, we are not satisfied. Some position has to give way. But if a position has to give way, you can always take another alternative position. It's a process. It's a human endeavor.
Okay, Allah Masha.
Yes, I just remembered what I was trying to get at. And I picked it from October's hand of Esau, something of Esau, or something like that.
Okay.
Yes. In the street palace, they will say, we take concern Agbero with overload. Nothing concern President Bola Ahmed Tinubu with the problems if you have issues in your party. Of course, you have said there are no issues. But the point is, talking about persecution, blah, 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 Bola Ahmed Tinubu referred to a situation when he was a Lone Ranger. A Lone Ranger then in the Southwest, when all political parties migrated to the PDP.
Okay.
And he said he survived it. And why is it that people are saying the persecution and that? Why was it that he survived it and people are running away from whatever it is they are running away? He said it's not a problem if a political party could not get their bearing. And I think I want to agree with him on that. It is not the president's problem or the APC's problem. There will always be moles in all political parties. It's not limited to ADC. APC also has moles. If you look at it properly, information flickers through. There are people, there are merchants of information who benefit from such a thing. You don't have to make unnecessary comparison, but that is why Boko Haram has been able to survive up to this material time. Because some people are snitches, they sell information, they trade in information.
Of course.
Now, if you have issues, there's no problem with APC is Malu, the Malu that has whatever it is you call it. It's a benefit to the butcher. Yes, it's a benefit. So whether he sponsors people or he doesn't sponsor Jacob into ADC, it is for ADC to remain formidable and also use all forms of tactics against APC to make sure that if you double me, I will tackle you. That is the issue.
Part of what have been saying, maybe you add your thoughts after this question, is the fact that you don't just become the president of a country. Because of course the APC, you have different states, of the federation, with APC governors, and of course you as ADC right now, you're also going towards becoming or leading the country in the 2027 election. Of course, going for the biggest, the biggest seat in Nigeria, which is the presidency seat. Of course, looking at that, and of course, looking at what people have always said, that at the state level, what are you holding forth? What are your people doing? The by-elections, the recently conducted by-elections, we do not really see ADC taking any seat, winning any political seat. So along the line, how do you then become the president of Nigeria in 2027 if these small stages, of course different stages, are not really having machineries working alongside that success?
Let me specifically talk about Ogun State. We participated in the by-election. We know what pan out. If we do not matter, or we did not matter at that particular time, there was no reason for a ruling government to put their APC, that is, to stand against us when we wanted to campaign.
Did you win the election?
We did. We did not.
So the outcome now is what I'm talking about.
So the outcome was that because there was really no election, it was selection by default anyway. Because there was no election. We already know that we have a.
People.
Yes. In the face of it, there was election. But we know there was selection using government instruments to oppress PDP and oppress ADC. Sorry?
Will your party have done it differently?
Yeah, we will have done it differently because my candidate was popular. He was one-time House of Representatives, and he did. He was short-changed during the second coming of him, and so he joined us. And even though the time was short, but we made we made a great move. We became third, but that is not too gratifying for our party at that particular time. But that has sent our party to the consciousness of the state and the nation at that particular time, because ADC was out for us. They were not out for PDP as much as they were out for us, because the police, where we were supposed to do our campaign, they have to damage all our materials. They have to coerce us to go back to Abeokuta. So we have Ogbeni was with us, that is Aregbe Shola. He came, he couldn't come out of his car. He was barricaded. So if it do not matter at that particular time, why? They should have, just have their arm akimbo and look at how it's going to pan out. But because
it's true that majority of the people we talk about defecting to the ADC are largely aggrieved members of the APC and of course other political parties as well.
We've not seen so much APC people.
You mentioned Ogbeni now, and of course people talked about how he was treated in APC.
You see,
Ogbeni is also one person.
Ogbeni has his issues. Everybody has his own issues. But the thing that we're talking about here is the new face of Nigeria, a pan-Nigerian political party which is called African Democratic Congress. You see, the whole of Nigeria owns this party. It is not a regional party. It is not a personal party. It is pan-Nigerian party, and that is why we have become the doyen of the populace.
It's not too short for you to say you want to become the president. That's part of the narrative. Is to what investment have you done in the ADC to warrant that, or immediately you're just going to be the president of the country? I just mentioned the different examples of states. How many states are your party controlling? How many of your leaders? This is a systematic arrangement. It's a democracy, we talk about it. And of course that has been part of the narrative recently.
Let me tell you.
So it doesn't really matter.
No, it does not really matter, because as much as people defected or tried to find solace in the bosom of APC, because some have been coerced, some have been offered, it's in the public glare. Some have been offered money and all of that, though allegedly. No, we do not offer. People come on their own volition.
Okay.
People came to.
So are you not so sure that people going to APC are also going there on their own volition? Okay, I'm not speaking for the APC. I'm just trying to clarify, because some of the things you allege happen to others. What happens to that happening to you?
Naturally, people come to our party.
Okay.
You see, because people are tired of what we are seeing in the country. People are tired of the killing. People are tired of economic ruins. And when a nation can only thrive when noblemen stands up to speak to to power.
Okay.
But
because of our time, let me engage Olani Marshall. There is this conversation around ideology. We pushed that a lot. That democracy or political party without ideology is always part of what we have as a challenge in Nigeria. And we've seen the places where ideology actually rules, most of these political parties. And what you get to hear along the line is, if a political party is saying that it's a no-no to a particular policy, they are just going to stand there, even though that is beneficial to the people, because they are against such. You have the Democrats and of course the Republicans of America, even if it's going to benefit the Americans, because they are actually standing on that ideology. They don't shake, they don't move, and that they say is a threat to democracy itself. Is it rigidity? How do we factor that? Building our own democracies in Nigeria, and of course our political parties as well.
So, Simeon, let's be sincere with ourselves. There is no particular ideological difference between most of the political parties, particularly the two major political parties that we have in Nigeria of today. Hypothetically, I was referring to APC, PDP. Now with the emergence of ADC and the Labour Party and all the rest, I'm not sure we can still say there are major differences in those parties. In the days of Awolowo, you have free education and you have quality education by NPN. UPN was talking of free education, NPN was talking of quality education, housing for all and all. Here is more of right of the center or left of the center. But today, we've had and we've read and we've seen from history, even Bola Ige of blessed memory, we knew how instrumental he was as author of manifestos and principles and ideology for political parties in Nigeria. A single person writing their principles and constitution and all the rest. So there's virtually, as it stands today, no differences when we talk of ideology between all these parties parading themselves. What is permanent in Nigeria in terms of ideology is the interest of the parties, or maybe the individuals that come together to form the party, the interest, and it's more of pecuniary gains, not for the people, but for those who are going about thinking they want to capture power.
Dr. Sholwade, we're seeing different conversations going on with the opposition political parties. In fact, we've heard that PDP rather, and of course maybe other political parties, opposition political parties are going to merge and come into collapse into ADC. They said PDP is having crisis at the moment. The big wigs are leaving the party. And of course they are talking about how ADC can actually move faster than APC in getting those political parties to merge and become a bigger opposition political party in Nigeria. Are you having that conversation already, or is something?
It's an ongoing conversation. We are having this merger, but we are doing it quietly. These people are coming. And for your question the other time, that what gave us that confidence that we must go for the big head, why not the middle or the tail of the fish? The apex. Don't also forget that in the last election, how it happened, we have Batch, the president party that pulled about 8,794,000, while Atiku pulled 6,990. Obi pulled 6,000. So you should know that there is correlation. We can.
So with the you're trying to bring the two, what's it called, the second and third.
Yes.
In the last
election. They will have 12 million votes.
You say the followers will be.
Okay.
They are.
Are they with them in?
Yes, of course. We have the OB. No. Majority of them. Immediately OB crossed to our ADC. Every other day I cannot sleep because all obedience. This one will come and say all obedience. Oh yeah.
I have my.
No. We have so many obedience. Yes, we have because they have different structures.
Okay.
They have 20 structures. About 3 of them they collapse into us.
Okay.
The youthful. Obedience are there.
And their demands have been that we should get the ticket. which of course...
No, it does not matter. I know at the appropriate time their principal will rein them in because this is the way to go. Don't underestimate what's going to happen 2027. You know, because we are working we are working our ass out to make sure we work together as one. And because in one unity we will be able to take power from this demagogue that means no well for Nigeria.
If I have to advise ADC, I would suggest that don't assume that the template of the last election is going to play out as in the current dynamics that you are going to have in 2024. In the sense that, sir, if you are having a current holder taking or controlling plus minus 30 states, and you think the template then will wipe out the situation in 2027, it's going to be a very, very hard sell.
Towards the election, we are going to have a lot of implosion. We are going to have implosion. We are going to have implosion in the APC.
Also not be standing solid like a rock of Gibraltar.
Because of our
their loss will be our gain. Because the African Democratic Congress is the way to go. It's a pan-Nigerian party. We have populists embracing us more than the political forwards themselves.
Society Operative and Don Sancho Marshall, thank you so much.
Nice to be here.
We've also been speaking with the African Democratic Congress Chairman in Ogun State, Dr. Otumba Dr. Femi Shuluade. Thank you so much.
It's going to be a pleasure for another round of
no problem.
like this. So that
keep Nigerians updated when it comes to political matters. Thank you so much for watching Political Update today. Next week will be another time on the program. Thank you. Bye for now.